Hi, I'm Daniel, I'm one of Spot's co-founders, and in this video I'll take you through tips and recommendations for how to make Spot a more trusted tool for your employees. The goal is to really help your people feel comfortable speaking up about issues so you can resolve concerns that may otherwise become systemic. With Spot, you have already taken steps to create a healthier culture. To make good on this investment, employees need to know about Spot and they need to understand what will happen when they use it. Link to Spot in a variety of channels so employees can find the tool when they need it. Based on our experience working with lots of organizations, we know that individuals are unlikely to think much about misconduct reporting until they have a direct need for it. Unlike Instagram or email, Spot is something employees won't use every day. Which is a good thing, but it means that communication needs to be strategic. Our first tip then is to offer many points of entry to Spot to make sure that it's easy to find when there's a sudden need. You can link to Spot from your code of conduct or handbook. If an employee goes looking for your policy on misconduct, they should be able to learn about Spot at the same time. Many organizations also post a permanent link to Spot with a quick blurb on what it is on the homepage of their intranet or wiki. We provide co-branded posters to give employees an approachable way to access Spot. They contain your logo as well as a QR code and your unique link to access Spot easily. These are automatically available in your Spot dashboard. You don't have to do any design work. Posters can be used as physical or digital assets for getting the word out. Hang these in your break rooms or bathrooms and use the digital assets in your wiki, policy docs, emails, and online reminders. You can download posters in your Spot dashboard under Case Management, Communication Resources. Spot also offers a simple Slack integration for employees. They can type Spot anywhere in Slack to call up your organization's direct link to Spot. You can also announce Spot and even demo the reporting experience at staff meetings or all-hands meetings. If available, getting leadership to say a few words in support of speaking up can help employees trust that the organization will take reports seriously. Then there's old-fashioned email. To make this easy, we offer templates for announcing Spot in the dashboard, again under Case Management and then Communication Resources. You'll want to send a message announcing Spot, but you can also send reminders that the tool is available. The Spot team is always happy to help with drafting communications to employees. Please leverage our experience with this kind of language. We're here to help your organization. And finally, word of mouth. If someone mentions a situation that made them uncomfortable, you can always gently remind them that Spot is available. Encourage managers to do the same with the people who report to them. Communicate your internal process so everyone knows how reports will be managed. What is your internal process for when you receive a Spot report? It is crucial to have an answer to this question before rolling out Spot. Spot doesn't magically make problems disappear. It should be part of an internal process informed by a healthy, holistic approach to investigation and conflict resolution. Communicate your internal process to employees so they know what to expect if they raise an issue through Spot. We know everyone's internal process is different, and you can shape Spot to your specific needs. We work with organizations of all different shapes and sizes, so feel free to talk to us about the best way of how to approach this. Anonymity matters when it comes to reporting. Consider articulating how your process will work when you receive anonymous reports versus reports where the individual identifies themselves. It can be helpful for employees to know that anonymity will be respected and to understand how your internal process might differ if they choose to stay anonymous. Be flexible and responsive to increase comfort speaking up. Spot works a little different at every organization. So once you've launched Spot, make sure to keep lines of communication open with your employees. Stay flexible and use Spot in a way that fits your culture. For example, if employees like talking directly to HR, you can always use Spot to track real-world interactions. If someone comes to you to talk about an issue in person, simply add a report based on that conversation to the Spot dashboard. This allows you to manage issues raised in person the same way you manage other reports. You don't always need to wait for reports to come to you, particularly if you're looking for documentation around an incident that you already know about. You can also use the Spot dashboard to request a report. This will send a link to the person you specify, taking them directly to Spot to create a report. We built these features because it's likely that you'll continue to talk directly to employees about sensitive issues. Depending on what employees are comfortable with, you may primarily use Spot for maintaining documentation and tracking cases. Or you may primarily conduct investigations on anonymous reports. Again, we've seen it all, so don't hesitate to be in touch if you have questions about how to use Spot most effectively at your organization. Another way to help employees feel comfortable speaking up is to offer different levels of reporting. You can add interviews for surfacing various types of issues, concerns, and plain old feedback. You can add or remove interviews quickly and easily in the dashboard under Settings and then Case Management Settings. Based on what we've seen, some employees may feel intimidated about raising an issue, but are more than willing to give quick feedback, for example. The Spot dashboard is built to reflect best practices for dealing with reports of misconduct, but there's no single correct way to use the system. You'll build trust most easily by supporting the ways in which employees are willing to engage. And the Spot team is always here to help you adjust the system for your organization's needs. Train managers to remove roadblocks to speaking up. We've talked about how to make employees more comfortable speaking up. Now let's talk about managers, who are, intentionally or not, often the gatekeepers to behavioral change in organizations. To build employee trust in speaking up about issues large and small, managers need to be on board. Ask managers to create a test report with Spot so they experience the process firsthand and are prepared to talk about it with their direct reports. You can also offer a demo of the chatbot or send the video we provide that runs through the reporting experience. Brief managers on how you'll handle incoming reports and listen to their concerns about the introduction of this new tool. Spot will never be a replacement for HR folks or managers. Emphasize to managers that most misconduct is never reported, and the goal with Spot is to uncover more of what isn't discussed, not to take over work they're currently doing. Get leadership support to show that speaking up is an organization-wide effort. With sensitive issues such as misconduct reporting, it's important that your entire organization, especially leadership, is on board. Easier said than done, we know. If possible, ask leadership to introduce your new tool and make sure that employees feel comfortable using it. Offer demos so people know what to expect. It's always helpful for people to see how Spot works for the first time without having to run through the experience on their own. Responses are typically, "Wow, this is so much easier than I expected," or "This isn't nearly as scary as I thought it would be." If you can, offer a demo of Spot during a staff or all-hands meeting. Spot orientation meetings may not get great attendance since most people don't want to think about misconduct reporting until they absolutely have to, and no one wants another meeting. We found that when an incident occurs and an employee is forced to think about misconduct reporting for the first time, they often don't know where to turn. To avoid this typical scenario, include the video we provide of the reporting experience whenever you post the link to access Spot so that employees can see the demo on an as-needed basis. Repeat yourself to ensure employees have access to info when they need it. Often people need to hear information a few times in a few different ways so it sticks. One announcement email when you roll out Spot will probably not be enough. So be prepared to repeat yourself. Spot is unlikely to be top of mind until an employee actually needs to use it. This is a good argument for making communications about Spot concise but frequent. Try reminding employees weekly about the tool at first and then monthly after that. This may sound very repetitive, but it will drive home the message that you care about your employees and that they should feel safe when they want to speak up about something. Finally, give it some time. You're creating a healthier culture so that people can feel safe when they need to speak up. You are very unlikely to see dozens of reports overnight, but if you consistently encourage speaking up, clearly communicate your internal process for dealing with reports, offer demos so the tool feels familiar, and train managers so they understand the system, You can lay the groundwork for a culture of trust and inclusivity that will pay off over time.